Today I am going to attempt to explain copyright to my dogs as I understand it. Now, I have explained to them that I studied illustration and graphic design at university. And although some might say that there is a distinct similarity between those subjects and law, they would be egregiously mistaken. Now, let's go find those little mutts. Here I find one of them in his natural habitat. Wally, do you want to learn about copyright? So, don't go to sleep. This is very important. Do you know what copyright is?
No, that's what this cosy chat is about.
Okay. Well, according to international law, if you make something, whether that's a song or a painting or, in this case, a book, your creation has automatic copyright. And that's sort of protection from the moment it becomes tangible. If you have written a book, it's in a tangible form. So if someone brings out the exact same book, say for example, or something very similar, very similar, then you can sue them for copyright infringement. Hey, have I lost you? Ugh. Open your eyes. It literally means you have the right to copy something if you haven't given express consent to somebody to copy, then that's an infringement. That means that you can sue them. Ugh. I'm going to try Maisie.
What does tangible mean?
Oh, good. I'm glad someone was listening. Well, tangible means that it's a version of your book that's on paper or a digital version on a computer, for example. Well, for our purposes, it needs to be your creation written, drawn or printed on paper or saved on a device as like a whole conception. Am I boring you? Let's say you have written an idea for a book and you tell Dave from down the pub, and Dave subsequently brings out a book using your idea before you've had a chance to make your book tangible, make your idea tangible and publish it. Now, there's not much you can do about that really, because you can't sue him for copyright of your idea because it's not tangible. Okay, you haven't got it down on paper or anything yet. But you could, however, and this is very important, slip some stinky sardines into his pint of beer next time you see him down the pub.
How long is it?
Yeah, that's a good question, Maisie. Well, copyright for books lasts for a very long time, probably longer than both of your lives added together. And in actual fact, it's like the whole lifetime of that person, so as long as they live, plus 70 years. So 70 years after they die. But that's why you would see, say, a lot of books by Charles Dickens or Jane Austen, who died a long time ago, but you might see different publications for those books, but you'd only see one for Roald Dahl because he died less than 70 years ago.
I didn't mean that. I mean, how long is it till elevensies?
Oh, well, it's not elevensies for quite a while yet. Yeah, sorry about that.
I have a question. How can I protect my copyright?
Well, copyright doesn't have to be registered, but to me it kind of makes sense to do so. But depending on which country you're in, there'll be different organisations that do this. So I suggest what you do, if you were a doggy living in your native Mexico, you'd do a search for Mexico and registering my book for copyright. Okay? So that would be the easiest thing to do. But in the UK, where we live, there's no real formal registering process for your copyright. But what I do is use the copyright symbol, which you know is that little circle with a C in it. And then I put my name, and then I put the date of the publication. Well, I register it with Amazon and Nielsen, and then that way there's a digital date to my work. Oh dear me.
Don't start me off.
However, you can also send yourself a registered copy through the post. And this is something that I've done quite a lot. You've seen me do it, haven't you? You put a copy of your book in the post to yourself, seal it up, send it registered post. When you receive it back through the post, don't open it. And you've got a mail mark date on your envelope. So that proves when you had a copy of this. And you know, if you need to go to court ever, you can use that. Aren't you? Yeah, it's clever, isn't it?
What about titles? Do I have to copyright a title?
Well, in the main, titles can't be copyrighted. The law in general is that what you're copyrighting has to constitute a literary work, and a title is just too short. However, if you decide to call your book, say, The Hobbit, it will be very confusing, and people who are expecting to read about hairy-footed adventures, well, they'll be very cross, and it might lead to bad reviews for you. Do you like The Hobbit? Wally likes The Hobbit because he's got hairy feet too.
I'm sure I've seen some snippets of books being used. How do they get away with that?
Yes, you're right, there are some exceptions, including, and this is really important, teaching, critiquing, private study, and copying for disabled people if no other formats are available. For example, large print, Wally.
What?
There are loads of others too, but it just depends on your own country's law.
What should I do if someone steals my creation?
Well, it's up to you to make sure no one is infringing your copyright. There isn't really an organisation out there that does it for you, as far as I know, not in the UK anyway. So if you come across somebody who you believe has totally ripped off your book, there are a few ways of dealing with it.
I'm all ears!
Firstly, you could get in touch with them and have a polite but firm discussion with them about what you believe has happened, and see if you can sort it out that way, because it's much less in terms of financial cost and also time if you can sort it out between yourselves. Or you could get somebody to mediate, you know, maybe a solicitor, or in the UK that we've got the Citizens Advice Bureau, they'd be good. Or thirdly, if you can't get any sort of satisfaction from either of those two things, you might have to go to court, but it is going to be quite stressful and also cost quite a lot. Now, I'm going to quote from the UK government website here. This is what they say. Deliberate infringement of copyright on a commercial scale may be a criminal offence. But sometimes strange things do happen, don't they, Maisie? There are coincidences. Sometimes two people might have the same idea at the same time. And, you know, well, stranger things have happened at sea, haven't they, eh?
Yes, it's a coincidence that it's 11's time and my tummy is rumbling.
If you'd like further artist tutorials, I have a variety of short courses that will help you. There are real-time sessions looking at painting, drawing and marker pens, among others. And if you're keen on producing your own book, there is a more in-depth course on what you need to know about self-publishing a book with illustrations. And that covers making key decisions, how to make layouts and dummy books, rhythm and pacing, as well as several tutorials on illustrating your book, and a look at the tech. You can either hop over to my website or join me on Patreon for more information. Go on, give it a go! Please don't take this as the be-all and end-all of copyright law. It really does need consideration, and I'm only telling it as I understand it. Also, things do change, and if YouTube is still going in 2050 and you're watching this, then hello 2050! Now, go and check that things are still the same now. Next week we're going all magic and sparkly with a Draw With Me wizard. So grab your pointiest hat with stars on it and join me then. I'm off to banish a banana. I'll see you next time. Nanu nanu.